jump straight in with the makeup. So I'm starting off with foundation, which I don't normally do, but I've got my Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation, and I will leave the shade down below in the descriptions box for you. And I am just applying this all over my skin with a damp beauty blender sponge. It's so gorgeous. It's super thin, but it's medium to full coverage, and it dries matte, so I love it. Then moving on to the eyes. I know it's weird, I normally do eyes first and then base, but this time I wanted to switch it up. But yeah, for eye base I used my MAC paint pot in the shade Soft Ochre, and then to set that I'm using my Laura Mercier translucent powder, and that will just help everything glide over it nicely. Then I'm taking the shade Shy from the Huda Beauty Rose Gold Edition textured eyeshadow palette, and this light pink shade is going to be our transitional eyeshadow. As you can see, I've built it up above the crease. Then I'm taking the shade Flamingo, which is a really nice gorgeous pink shade, very unusual, but it's absolutely gorgeous, so I wanted to use it. And as you can see, I'm building this up in my crease and taking it back and forth in windscreen wiper motions, and this is also going a little bit above my crease but not too high. Then just to give it some further depth, I've got my Makeup Geek eyeshadow in the shade Fashion Addict. So it's really similar to Flamingo. If you don't have this eyeshadow, you don't need to include this step. I just kind of wanted to deepen it up slightly but still keep it nice and pink. Then going in with the shade Bossy from the same Huda Beauty palette, which is a really nice burgundy shade, and this is just going through the crease again just to deepen things up. And then again, to deepen it up a little bit further, I'm taking the shade Bitten by Makeup Geek. Again, if you don't have this shadow, don't worry, just stick to the Huda Beauty eyeshadow and keep building it up until you get the depth and intensity that you want. So this last like darker shade, you want to keep it a little bit lower than the others, so further down into the crease. Then we're just going to cut the crease using the MAC paint pot that we used earlier as a base, and I'm just taking a flat synthetic brush, and as you can see, I'm just going along the lid of my eye and just cutting my crease and trying to be as precise as possible. Then going back into the Huda Beauty palette and taking this gorgeous shimmery tone shadow, yeah, it's like a pinky shade, it's like a pinky gold shade, and yeah, it's called Angelic, and I'm just patting this all over my lid and then going back in with Bitten just on the outer corner and kind of blending it into the crease, only on the outer corner. Then for liner, I've got my NYX matte liquid liner, and can you see the concentration? But yeah, I am just taking this across my eyes, not too much of a thick liner whatsoever, and a really nice thin wing, and I'm just flicking this out. And then I feel like whenever I do my liner, it always like shows me where I need to add more shadow, so I just added a little bit more of that Bitten on the outer corner once again. Then moving on to skin, I've got my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I'm just applying this all over the areas that I want to highlight, so underneath my eyes to conceal dark circles, down the bridge of my nose, my forehead, my cupid's bow and chin. And then just with my damp beauty blender sponge, I am just patting that all in until it's all blended, seamless and flawless, as you can see. And then to brighten it up slightly further, I've got my MAC Prep and Prime highlighting pen in the shade Light Boost, and this is just going all over the same places that we used our concealer, just to brighten those up further and to highlight. And then again, you just want to pat your damp beauty blender over those areas to blend it all in, and it's just so flawless. I love this method. You then just want to set all of those highlighted areas in place, and I'm taking my damp beauty blender sponge to do this. So I am baking slightly, but I never leave my powder on for too long, so I just pat it on to the area and then keep patting until it's blended into the skin. And as you can see, I've not kept it on whatsoever because I don't like my skin to look too dry. Then I've got my MAC Mineralize Loose Powder Foundation just to set the rest of my makeup, and I'm using a really large duo fiber fluffy brush to apply this, so just really sparingly applying this powder. It gives me a slight bit of coverage and keeps my foundation on for longer and obviously looking more flawless. Then just going back onto the eyes, I'm taking that Flamingo shade from the Huda Beauty palette along my lower lash line, so that really nice gorgeous pink shade, and then going into Bossy the deep burgundy shade and just going over that close to my lash line, and then blending the two shadows together along there. Then for lashes, I've got my favourite mascara. This is my L'Oreal False Sculpt mascara, and I am just applying a couple coats of these, and then I thought it would be appropriate to apply some Huda Beauty lashes, and these are the Samantha ones, and I've applied them off camera. And then I'm just taking my Sephora Kohl black liner. You can use any that you like, just in my inner waterline to complete it, and then applying some lower lash mascara. I don't know why I can't speak, but yeah, mascara on my lower lashes. Then for bronzer, oh my god, my new favourite bronzer. It's the Ofra Cosmetics bronzer, and it's a matte, velvet matte one, and I am just applying this in the hollows of my cheeks and on my temples, and I'm using a large fluffy brush to do this. It doesn't have to be too precise. And then for contour, I've got my Makeup Geek contour powder in the shade Half-Hearted. I really love this. And then going in with a fluffy brush again, but slightly more precise now, taking this in my cheekbones, as you can see, just angling it in there, and then just taking this also along my temples to deepen that up, and just it's just going to slim down the face a little bit, and it works really nicely when you've highlighted. And then I'm also just taking it on a more defined brush down the sides of my nose to slim it out. Moving on to highlighter, it's my new favourite highlighter, and this is the Ofra Cosmetics Rodeo Drive highlighter. Said highlighter about 4 times there, but I am just building this up along my cheekbones, and I'm also taking it down the bridge of my nose, along my forehead, and just anywhere that we highlighted before, and then spraying some Fix Plus on a fan brush, and then applying some more. This just really helps your highlighter pop. As you can see, it's so gorgeous. I love it. Moving on to blusher, I'm taking one of the blushes from the Tarte Holiday collection, and I'll leave the name of it down below for you and the name of the blusher, but I'm just applying this on the apples of my cheeks and up towards my cheekbones. It's such a really nice, like, subtle blush. You don't want to use anything too overpowering, because as you can see, the eyes are pretty intense. And then onto lips, I've got my Charlotte Tilbury lip liner in the shade Iconic Nude, which I'm just lining my lips with. And then for liquid lipstick, it's my favourite liquid lipstick. It's the Venus Liquid Matte by Huda Beauty. I thought it would be appropriate to use a Huda Beauty liquid lipstick if we're using her palette. So yeah, this. Oh, and then I added glitter. Yes, of course. So I've got my Urban Decay glitter, which I've mixed with MAC 3D glitter in the shade Silver, and I'm just applying this on the inner corners. So this is what the makeup look looks like. Oh, but of course, I could do so much more with this. Yep, it's a different lip, so I decided to go for a darker lip with this makeup look also, just because I thought it would look really like gorgeous. So I've got my MAC Nightmoth lip liner, so I've lined my lips with this, and then I am just filling my lips in so that they look nice and dark. So you can leave the lips like this, or you can add liquid lipstick. So I've applied Material Girl by Huda Beauty, which is a really nice dark purple, but I needed that dark lip liner to make it pop even more underneath. So yeah, this is the finished look, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up if you did. Comment down below, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Mwah.